welcome back. Yeah, I know I didn't do a video last Sunday. I'm gonna start doing Samurai Sunday like every other Sunday. Gotta get other things done, life. Anyways, so I'm gonna do another review of two swords that I've done a review on that I got back in 2021, so we can see how they held up. So that way, if people are curious about checking these places out, how well they hold up, hopefully this will let you know. So the first one is going to be a Wakizashi. Now I did do a review of this one. The Tsuba, the Fuchi, and the Kasha are all alloy metals. I'll try and get some close-up views of them if I can. Now, how's this held up? It's held up pretty good. The Saya, it's not bad. The Koreguchi was cut out nice, but I've had to shim it multiple times because it is actually it's not like a really hard wood. So if you use it a lot, you're going to have to shim it. It's, more so than you would a hardwood Saya. So this runs $119. Now, what are you paying for $119? The blade, basically. Because it's not real leather. It's not real Samigawa. The Menuki started moving around in the battle wrap, so I put a dab of glue on them on both sides. So, is it perfect? No, not at all. It's not perfect at all. But like I said, you're paying for the blade. It's not differential hardened, it's through hardened. And then it is electroplated black. So the electroplating is actually better than dyes that they use on the metals, because if you cut bottles, and I've cut bottles with this, the electroplating doesn't scratch off. Now, let's see if this will show up. You'll see where some of the electroplating is gone on the blade, and that's from me sharpening it. So that will take it off when you go to sharpen it. So if that bothers you, maybe this one's not for you. Or you can just take the electroplating off. It does hold an edge really well. This sucker is nice and sharp. But for the price, $119, nothing. Well, the Tsuba's a little loose, you can rock it back and forth. The Hibaki is tight. Seppas are tight. It's just this wiggles a little bit back and forth. Kasha's never come loose. So other than that, everything stayed relatively tight except for the Tsuba, which is an easy fix. So let's see here. Going over and making sure I have my notes right. So I like it. I think for $119, if you want a pretty decent Wakizashi to go in the backyard and do some cutting, it's held up really good. In fact, it's the only Wakizashi I have that I cut with, because my other one I don't cut with, since my wife got that for me, and that was like my first custom build, so I don't use it too much because I don't want to damage it. The handle is 8 inches, so it's not terribly long. You could get 2 hands on it if you wanted. I rather prefer a 7 to a 6.5 inch handle, kind of like on a Tonto for Wakizashi, because they are meant to be one-handed, not two. So Hero Swords, I'll try, if I can remember, I'll try and put links to these places in the description, if I can remember to do that. But yeah, I got this back in May of 21. So it's held up that good. So, I mean, if, like I said, you're looking for a Wakizashi just to take out bat and cut, and it's not going to kill you, there you go. The next one is actually from Murasami, and this was the first sword I got from Murasami, and it's a Tonto. I know a lot of you have seen it, and the Tsuba is the same. This is one of the reasons why I got it. The Tsuba is kind of the same, let me get that in there, as this one. They're identical, they're exactly the same. So that's one of the reasons I got it, because I kind of like this Tsuba. It's got a vine pattern design on it, and it's real subtle. And the Tsuba is very, I think, kind of unique the way it's done. Now this, it says it's got real leather. I don't know if it is. On the ska, it's got real Samigawa, so, and it is double pinned. It's just they covered the second pin to the point where, actually, I don't even, is it double pinned? It might just be single pinned. Yeah, it looks like it's actually single pinned, not double pinned. So it's only got one Mikugi peg in it, which is kind of cool. I didn't actually realize that until now. So, again, the Kasha, the Fuchi, and the Tsuba are all alloy. The Saya, now, I will say it's made out of hardwood. I've never had to shim this. And I got this back in September of 21. And I have not had to shim this Saya yet. It's actually a hardwood. Don't know if this is real bullhorn on the end or at the Koraguchi. The Seigyo is okay. It's thick, but I've got other swords that I think are a little bit better quality. But it's not bad. I mean, I'm not going to bash it. I mean, it's better than, you know, getting the Ito wrap on your Saya, which I have a few swords I requested that for certain reasons. The only other gripe I have about the Saya is I feel like they didn't lacquer it good enough, because I dinged my Saya and it just chipped the paint right off, like easily. So they could have lacquered this a little bit heavier than what they did. So that was kind of disappointing. I mean, you just lightly ding this thing and the paint just chips off. So I would like my other Murasami, actually the lacquer looks heavy on it, so if anything I would say if Murasami was going to change anything on this one is lacquer this a little bit better, a little bit thicker lacquer, so that doesn't happen. But other than that, I mean, Koraguchi is nicely cut out, and like I said, it's a hardwood. I have not had to shim this thing once, and it holds really good. The other reason why I got this one because I am a big fan of this type of blade, is it is a Shobu. Now, I just love Shobus. Even though it's kind of a Shinogi, there are differences. Like the really pronounced tip, hence Shobu means iris leaf. So I like that. And this is a very beefy blade. If I hold up the Mune, you can see that sucker's thick all the way through. Which the Shobu, the blades are a little bit thicker, so they tend to be a little bit heavier. And there is no Yokota line. You don't. Shobus do not have that. This is a T10 blade. It's hard to see the hamon on this. You have to catch it just right in the light. It's like a ghost hamon. So, but it is differentially hardened. It is a T10 blade. When I first got it, it wasn't very sharp. So I had to take it to my stones. And it's got a nice, I will say a fair edge on it right now. I have done some cutting with this. So, but that tip on this thing is just wicked as hell. But they did a nice job on the blade. And this thing has held up nicely. And nothing on this, like the Hero Sword, not even the Tsuba is moving. Nothing has come loose, not even the Kashra. So, kudos to Murasame. They did a nice job on this Tanto. And it's got a 13-inch blade. And that's measuring it from the back of the notch to the tip. So, that's pretty nice. That's a nice blade. That's pretty standard 13-inch, anywhere from 12 to 13. A lot of times you get a 12. This one's actually 13. Which my O-Tanto is 3 inches longer than that. It's a 16-inch. One thing I did forget about this one, and this is measuring it from the notch. A lot of times when you get a Wakizashi, they're about 19 and a half inches. This is actually a 20-inch blade. So that is a plus. So you get anywhere from an inch to a half inch more on this Wakizashi. So that's pretty nice. And it's comfortable in the hands. So back to the Hero Sword. Out of them not lacquering, I think, the saya good enough, I like it. Feels good in the hands. Did a phenomenal job on this Shobu blade. You can control it. And for $159, not bad. It is not bad at all. I think they did a good job. Now it looks dirty, but it's got oil on it. But the polish is really, really nice. I mean, I can make out my whole reflection in it like I'm looking in a mirror. So the polish is done very well on this. And this is held up really good. Nothing has come loose on this at all, which is good. So is it worth $159? I would say so. It is more than the Hero Sword, but they cut corners. The difference with Hero Swords is if you want to stay in the $100 range, you're not going to get real ray skin. You're not going to get real leather. Once you hit about 150 up with Hero Swords, then you're getting the real Samigawa, real leather. You're getting all that then. Okay. So that's how their price ranges go for Hero Swords. I have another sword from Hero Swords where it's got nice Edo wrap. It does have real race skin. So, which eventually I'll do a review on that when it's been like a whole year or so and see how it's held up. And I cut a lot with this one. And the Tsuba is the only thing that's gotten loose on it. I mean, when I first got it, it's kind of got a little, if I hold it, you can hear side to side, but it's a soft wood. And I don't want to do that too much because then I'll have to maybe shim it again. Or you can replace the saya. You can order one that's a hardwood and replace the side. That's the nice thing about these, you know. So these two right here, if you're starting out, and you're on a fixed budget, obviously this one's way more, you know, it's $159, $160, but it's a good little sword. It's a good blade. It's well done, very well done. The only things I would change on it is maybe not so much the Sageo. I mean, it's fine, but the lacquering on the saya. Definitely, I would encourage Murasami to put a heavier lacquer on this. Okay, that's the only thing I would have them do. Other than that, everything else on this thing is spot on. Especially since this Kashra has never come loose, which I always say when the Edo wrap stops at the Kashra like that, especially with the small lip, I always have the Kashra come loose. But when they wrap around it like that, they go over the Kashra. I have not had a single sword where the Kashra has come loose when they do that. And that's how Hanban does all of them. I've only had one sword that has done that, where the Kashra has come loose. All the other ones and all my other swords are wrapped around the Kashra, never come loose. So, again, if you're starting out or you're just learning how to handle a sword and you're afraid of screwing it up, because we all do it, we hit our stands, even people who've been cutting for longer than I have, take like Eric Hussein, he's hit his stand too. It happens to everybody. The difference is when you're first starting out, you don't know how to stop that blade when you need to, or don't overswing it or whatever, and that's when you get the damages in it. You know, you get a chipped edge, a rolled edge. So if you spent a lot of money, I mean, it hurts. So this one, neither one of these, this is a 1095 and this T10, these edges have never chipped, never rolled. So, but they have held up pretty darn good. Will I probably fix the side to side on this Tsuba? Probably not. It's not a big deal to me. It's not a deal breaker. I just use it for either practicing Iaido and then just some like backyard cutting. So it's not like I use this every day though neither. So I'll probably leave it as is. It's not that bad. It doesn't bother me. And this one, like I said, I would just tell Murasami to lacquer this heavier. That way that chip out on the paint doesn't do that. So other than that, I mean, wouldn't change anything on it. They did a really nice job of it. So that's my review for these two swords. One from Hero, one from Murasami. Almost 2 years ago. So if you guys are, anybody's interested in getting one just for a beater sword, there you go. And then stick around. I'll have some cutting with both of these, and have a good day.